All right, guys, here we go. We are in the next cycle, cycle 4. This one is going to be a 10-week cycle taking us through summer into the fall. So we'll end at the end of September there. So this is the structure for the next cycle. So this is what to expect, and it helps you guys kind of plan out your week accordingly. I'll give you some of the intent and whys behind why I'm doing this going forward. But we are going to switch things up. Mondays, we're going to focus on our upper body strength, and we're going to get our barbell in our hands this time. So instead of the gymnastics, now we're going to work on our barbell strength, which is going to allow us to elicit a little bit more of a strength stimulus. We can kind of push a little bit more weight compared to our body weight. We're going to focus on a push press for the next cycle here. So we're on Monday, we're going to start off with 3 sets of 5-3-1. So the goal is to build up in weight as we go from 5s to 3s and 3s to 1. And then as we go into the second set of 5-3-1, we can go a little heavier. And then the third set, even heavier from there. So we're going to test strength. We're going to also test the coordination. So there's that little dip and drive from doing the push press. So we're going to have a little bit of a skill involved with that too. And then always as Mondays, we're going to finish off with a nice little workout. This one's going to be an AMRAP 10, 12 medicine ball, squat cleans, 9 strict handstand push-ups, 6 weighted pull-ups with a med ball. So this one's going to be a strength-based kind of workout. We are testing skill because of that squat clean, and there's going to be a lot of stamina involved in this. So with the strict handstand push-ups and the weighted pull-ups, those arms are going to get fatigued early on. But we want to keep that intensity high for those 10 minutes. So pick progressions today that will challenge you. However, you can still keep moving through this. I would say aim to get about 4 to 6 rounds in these 10 minutes there. So Mondays are going to be about that upper body strength, especially the first part of the class. Tuesdays, we're going to focus on conditioning. So we're going to have different types of conditioning. And the purpose of this is to go from kind of a short, moderate, heavy stimulus on the CNS to something that's a little bit lower in intensity so that you guys can have a little bit more recovery, but still get a really good workout out. If we're going hard every single day, we're going to definitely crash and burn. And this is something you may notice along the way. So I want you guys to be mindful through this cycle to kind of adjust your intensity as you go. Some days you might be a little tired more than others. And it's okay to go a little slower. You don't need to compete or go fast on every workout. It's okay to just go in there with the intent of just kind of getting a little bit of a sweat on and getting your joints and your body moving that day. So think of Tuesdays as conditioning, a little bit less intensity, more longer duration, so we can go into the aerobic pathway. This Tuesday, we are going to set a little bit of a benchmark for ourselves. So we're going to do a skill benchmark to start. In 5 minutes, we're going to try and get as many double unders as possible. So any range of skill can do this. You might not have a double under, and maybe in those 5 minutes, you get like 3 to 5. That's okay. And then some of you have double unders that maybe you can string like 10 to 15 in a row. And then some of you like are really proficient at them. So you might be in the hundreds or more in those 5 minutes. So everyone's going to be establishing a baseline with their double unders. This is going to test your skill, your coordination with the movement, and your stamina as well if you're doing long, big sets there. Then when we're done, we're going to keep it real simple. We're going to do a monostructural test, a 5K row. This is going to test your moderate to long duration of workouts. In this one, the purpose is to test endurance. So what that means is we're testing kind of the cardiovascular endurance in this one. Yes, your legs are going to fatigue a little bit in that, but the goal is, since we're doing one machine, only the same muscle groups are being tested at once, and then we can really test the endurance of it over time. So when we're doing this one, I want you to try to keep a nice steady pace across the 5K, and we're trying to establish ourselves a baseline. You have 30 minutes to get through it. I would say on average, try to be around that 20 to 25 minute mark. If you're not at that mark, that's okay. See how far you can get in those 30 minutes there. So Tuesdays is going to be mainly about conditioning. And today we're going to set some benchmarks for ourselves. Wednesday, it's going to be all about working with that snatch. So we're going to do Olympic lifting for the next 10 weeks here. We're going to work on our snatch technique, get really comfortable with our overhead positioning, and working on getting into a squat snatch. Some of you guys might be focusing more on doing a power snatch and just getting used to that overhead position. So you might take the path of just getting kind of comfortable with it, so focusing just on a power snatch. Others might be going towards that squat snatch skill. So you guys can kind of choose your paths as you start this cycle. And the purpose of it is like we're working on skill, technique, there's coordination involved. We're not trying to be Olympic weightlifters. We're trying to just work on those athletic skills to get ourselves better and improve our fitness. So you can think of it like that. We're not thinking of just trying to get the heaviest load on our snatch there. So there's a lot of athletic skills that come out of just working on this. So how this works, every 90 seconds for 5 rounds, we're going to start with 3 tall snatches. So this is where we're standing nice and tall and just pulling with our arms and then catching in a snatch position, whether it's in a power position or in a squat snatch. Then the next every 90-second interval, we're going to do 3 high hang snatches. And this is where we can squat snatch it or go into a power position. I want you to trade this week with the snatches just on technique and get really comfortable with it. If you're really proficient with the technique, you're feeling good, then we can kind of go up a little bit heavier. But your tall snatches will be lighter, and then your high hang snatches should be a little bit heavier than there. If you're new to the snatch, just keep the same weight. Maybe you're just working with a PVC or just a barbell for all 10 rounds there. Okay, so strength skills there. Then we're going to do a benchmark workout that I'd like to test at the end of the cycle. So we're going to start with it. 3 rounds for time, 20 burpees, 21 alternating dumbbell snatches, and 12 dumbbell thrusters. So this one's going to be an anaerobic, kind of short moderation workout. You're going to feel your legs, you're going to feel the arms, the breathing in this one. This one's going to be where we're feeling more of that burning sensation in our body. When we're doing an aerobic workout, it's just more about the breathing and the cardio. This one is like, oh, we feel our lungs kind of burn. So we're going into that anaerobic stage. That's where we're kind of depleted of our oxygen is not what's being used in this. It's more of kind of the carbs or the glycogen in our muscles. So you get that kind of burning sensation as a byproduct from it. So in this one, 3 rounds for time, 20 burpees, more of a cardio stimulus, and then those 2 dumbbell movements are going to be more of a strength and skill stimulus there. So really good balance of those 3 in this workout, just 3 rounds. If you can kind of manage your pacing to do 5 minutes per round, then you can get this one done, or at least set yourself a benchmark today so then we can retest this again at the end of the cycle. So Wednesdays, Olympic lifting is going to be the theme, working on the snatch specifically. Going into Thursday, we'll have another conditioning day with this one. So this week, I just want to set some benchmarks again. We're going to do a lunging anti-workout. So it's 50, 40, 30, 20, 10 of ab mat sit-ups, double unders, walking lunge steps, and double unders. So we have double the double unders, and we have some walking lunges in there. So it's going to be a little bit of a beefy type of workout called Annie, but it's going to be a lot more reps. So in this one, we're going to be testing stamina. So that means like how well we can utilize the energy in those muscle groups, and then the endurance, so the cardiovascular portion of it. So try to pace yourself out for the first 50, 40s. And then once you get to 30s, 20s, and 10s, you can kind of pick up that pace. You have 20 minutes to get through it. When you're done, we are going to finish off with a nice cool down to kind of promote recovery and get that lactic acid out of the legs there and our core as best as we can so that we can start that recovery process early. So Thursdays is all about conditioning, and that's kind of to offset our Wednesdays and Fridays. So we have a little bit more of a longer duration workout. We can kind of recover a little bit more so that we can get the most out of the next day after that. Friday, August 1st, we got our deadlift workout to start off, and we are going to focus on deadlifts going forward for the Fridays. We haven't done them in a little while, especially heavy. So kind of like Monday, 3 sets of 5, 3, 1. First round, kind of light, moderate. Next round, we're going to moderate, heavy, and then the last round can be a little bit heavier. And these are meant to be control, touch and go. So control on the way down, lightly tap the ground and back up. So we're not stopping at the bottom. But if you need to and you're working on specific positions, definitely do that today. So deadlift is going to really test our posterior strength, our posterior chain. So everything on the backside of our body. This is really good for posture, really good for kind of building core strength as well. So it's a complex movement with different parts of our body working at a time. And it really helps us get stronger overall because we can put a lot more load on our body doing this. So really good movement. Once we're done the strength, we're going to go into our workout. 10 minutes max distance farmer carries. So with 2 kettlebells, we're going to get as many meters done as possible. And this is going to test our grip endurance. and our stamina, I would argue as well, because you're going to start to feel that grip. So really focus on trying to be strategic with how you break this up in the 10 minutes, but you're trying to go as far as possible. And let's set ourselves a benchmark. Make sure you're not going to the point where you're dropping the kettlebells out of your hands. Try to stop a little earlier than that. Obviously, you don't want to drop the kettlebells on your toes there. So really be mindful of that. So that's our workout on August the 1st there, or our Friday workout there. And that's what's going to be our theme for Fridays, working on that deadlift going forward. Our Saturday workouts, back to conditioning. We're going to set our benchmark again. Fight Gone Bad, 5. So this is the 5-round version of this one. 5 rounds for total reps. 1 minute wall ball shots, 1 minute sumo deadlift high pulls, 1 minute box jumps, 1 minute push press, 1 minute row, 1 minute rest. So this is going to be more in that aerobic range. So longer workout. So we got to really pace it and focus on like not going too fast right off the beginning. So really concentrate that when you go into this workout today, and then make sure you write down your reps so that you can calculate that at the end. And this is going to be a benchmark that we'll test again in the future. So definitely record this one. You want to be here for this one. This is a really good workout. And then finally finishing off our week, we are going to keep that partner team workouts on the Sundays. So this one's going to be a nice aerobic one. Just get you sweaty and having a little bit of fun with this one. So 3 rounds for time, 500-meter run, 12 burpees over the wall. The wall will be that 40-inch or 48-inch wall for the guys and 40 inches for the ladies. So you can set that up. And then when we're doing this one, the goal is to just keep a steady pace with this one. And the cool thing is you can just break this up with your partners. You don't have to each do this. It's a lot of volume, so we can split it up or do it however you want. But in the 30 minutes, we're trying to get 3 rounds done of 500-meter row or 500-meter run, 12 burpees over the wall, 400-foot sled push, 12 burpees over the wall, 30 cal assault bike, 12 burpees over the wall, and then repeat again. So good one to end off the week. And this is the weekly structure going forward for the next 10 weeks, guys. So review this again, double check that you have a good idea going into it. Read the email for a little bit more details, and then we'll see you guys in class for this cycle. So enjoy.